Now we're on Daf37, 37. Kol sheyesh bo. That's why it says kol sheyesh. As long as it have chamesh minim, even in a taruvis, you'd still make a bor minim mizonos. Yesh minim kol sheyesh bo. Other minim kol sheyesh bo chamesh minim in. Aval oires v'doichen lo. But rice and millet, I would say lo. Mishum dal yedei taruvis. I would think that maybe rice and millet. So we've said that when you take other grains, the 5 minim, and you mix it with taruvis, you say morim minim zonos. But oires v'doichen, rice and millet, when you put them in a mixture, we would not say minim zonos. Aval itse be'enei. Name afil oires v'doichen nami mevarch l'morim minim zonos. I would have thought that rice and millet, you would make a morim zonos if you were eating them be'en, without a taruvis. Kamash malon, no. Kol shu v'chayis aminim would mevarch l'morim minim zonos. La fuke, to exclude oires v'doichen, dafilu is be'enei lo mevarch borch. Even if you're eating rice or millet in themselves, you don't make a bar minim zonos. Freik the Gemara, the oires v'doichen mevarchim bar minim zonos. Do we not make a bar minim zonos on oires v'doichen v'tanya? If you look of pas oires u'pas doichen, somebody brought bread made out of rice or bread made out of millet. Mevarch aleh tchila v'sof k'maisa kedera. You make a bracha before and after, like you do a sort of a dish with grain. And what's the din v'gabe maisa kedera? Tanya, betchila mevarch alav bar minim zonos, u'levasof mevarch alav bracha achas mein shalosh. You say an alamichya. So the Gemara answer is no. K'maisa kedera v'lo k'maisa kedera. In some ways it's treated like a maisa kedera. In some ways it's treated not like a maisa kedera. K'maisa kedera, they're marchinan alav tchila. The sof. You do make a bracha before and after. But the lo k'maisa kedera, but it's not like a full maisa kedera. The ilu maisa kedera betchila boy minim zonos. Ulevasof bracha achas mein gimel. A regular dish that's made with grain, you make a mezonos before and an alamech after. But by rice v'doichen, ilohacha betchila mevarch lev shahakol nyebidvaro, ulevasof bar nefashos rabbanon v'chesroinon. You make a shahakol and a bar nefashos. I'll call masha bara. So that's what the Gemara seems to be saying here, that you make a shahakol and a bar nefashos. Freik the Gemara, v'oris la maisa kederahu. That's not correct. I'll show you that an oris is treated like a maisa kedera, which would require a mezonos, vatanya. I'll bring you a price to say that. Elohein maisa kedera. These are the following sort of dishes that require a mezonos and an alamichya: chilka, targis, soiles, zoriz, arson, ve'oires. That's what is it, what are the translations of all this? Chilka is also like some kind of oatmeal. Chitu dimitavra, broken wheat, like
porridge, no?
Huh? Yeah, various porridges.
Grits split into thirds.
Grits split into thirds.
Or fine flour.
Fine flour.
Grits, that's good. I like grits.
Yeah, these are all types of, different, like in Appalachia.
Yeah.
But oires is included as an example of Maisa Kedera, which requires a mezonos and alamicha. And an alamicha, how did you tell me that it requires only a shahakol and a bar nefashos in this baraisa? So the Gemara says, Hamani Rav Yochanan ben Nuri. It's a das yochid. The Tanya Rav Yochanan ben Nuri oimer, oires min dagonhu. He held rice was a grain. V'chayov al chimutze kores. And if you let the rice ferment, you would and eat it on Pesach, you'd be chayav kores. And if you made matzah out of rice, you'd be makuyim your mitzvah of matzah. Al rabbanon lo, but the Chacham don't agree with this. Frank, the rabbanon lo. What, the rabbanon don't agree with it? I'll show you the rabbanon do agree with it. Batanya, hakoisem esachita, you chew wheat. Mevarch aleh boy pri adamo. Right? It hasn't been made into flour and bread, so, but it grows, it's like a grass that grows from the ground. So you make a boy pri adamo. Tachna, you ground it. Afar, you baked it. Ubishla, and you cooked it. Now, bisman shaprusas kayamois. As long as you can see the wheat kernels, betchila, mevarch aleh amoitzi lechem na'aretz. It may have something to do with what Johnny told us, that this thing, that if it's be'en, if you can see the grain, it gets a moitzi. And of the sof mevarch alev gimel brachos, and you make full benching. Imeina prusas kayomis, if it's been ground so much that you don't see that you can recognize that it's a wheat kernel. So betchilim v'varch leboim name is zoynois. Ulesof v'varch lebrocha achos men gimel. You make an alamechia. Now that's by wheat. What if you chew rice? Koises is a oirez mevarch alav boy pri adama, not shahakol. Now tochno afo bishlu. You ground it, you baked it or you cooked it. And afal pi, you can tell that it's rayin shaprusas kayomis, but chil mavarch alav boim name is zoynois. Also not like the halach we said. Ulvasov mavarch alav bracha achas mein sholish, and you say an alamichya. So again, it seems the Gemara's havamina is that this is the Rabbanon. Gemara says no. Now mani, who is Ilay Rav Yochanan ben Nuri? That can't be because the auras min dogenu amotzlach min aretz. Shosh brachos boy bruche, not boy min zoynois and an alamechya, because Rav Yochanan ben Nuri holds that rice is full dogon. Elalav Rabbanani utiyut Rabbi Shmuel to yufta, and basically we knock Rabbi Shmuel out of the box. Let me just show you the halacha. I looked it up yesterday. Hakoisis is a oirez. If you chew rice, mevorach alav boy pri adama, va'achrav boy nefashos. The imbishlu, if you cooked it, and the Ramah says atshit nitmoach until it gets very soft. Oy shetochno, you grounded it. Va'asu me'anapas, you made some kind of bread. Mevorach alav boy name is zoynos. Va'achrav boy nefashos. And you say boy nefashos after you don't say alamechi after rice. So you say boy name is zoynos, and you say boy nefashos. V'hush lo yeh me'urvim davar acher, as long as it's rice by itself. V'me'ir v'meno b'tavshel acher. If you mix it with some kind of other dish, v'atavshel acher hu aroi mevorach alav kibirchas ois v'savshel. If you mix it with something else, you make the bracha whatever that something else says.
So rice cake, you don't make a dough on a rice cake?
Well, he wants to say, if you chew the rice without cooking it, then you make a bar piyadam and then a bar nefashos. But if you cook it, you make a mezoynos and then a bar nefashos afterwards.
But it says something about a cracker, didn't it? Didn't it say something about a cracker there?
No, it didn't say cracker.
So a rice cake is, so what would you do on a rice cake? Or be a dough?
I don't know how is a rice cake made? Is it cooked and then made into a rice cake? Is it? Because it says once you cooked it, then you would make a bar and mezoynos. We're talking about like the way we eat it when you cook rice.
Yeah.
So he says,
Nice.
then you make a mezoynos and you say a bar and nefashos after it's not an alamechia.
Right, many things.
Right.
Too many pings. Stupid.
Omer Mar, hakoisis is a kichita. Let's say you chew wheat kernels. Mavarch alav aleh boy pri adam. I vatanya boy minei zroim. Some say it has to do with based on seeds. Like kasha Rabbi Yehuda Rabbanon. So machlekes Rabbi Yehuda Rabbanon. This time, Yerokos or boy pri adam. Our Mishnah said on all general vegetables you say a boy pri adam. Rabbi Yehuda and boy minei b'deshoim. He felt that you had to make a bracha that was more specific. So he felt that vegetables are a type of grass. So you're more specific regarding that. Omer Mar. If you chew oirez, mavarch alav boy pri adama, which is the halacha we quoted. You're not cooking it. Tochnu afo bishlu. If you ground it, baked it, or cooked it, afal pisha prusas kayomis, even though you see the rice, betchila mavarch alav boy minem zoynes, like the Shulchan Aruch paskin. Ulvasav bracha achas mein sholish. Now here it says you make an alamichya. I v'ataynu v'asof lo klum. Now whenever you see it says lo klum means you don't say a benching or you don't say an alamichya, but you always end up with boring nefashos. Lo klum. So for example, by mayim we say lo klum, but we say boring nefashos. So you notice there's a zayin here. That's the halacha that with the Rambam, the Shulchan Aruch brought down, that when you cook rice, you make a boring nefashos, but afterwards you make a boring nefashos. It's like kasha. Rav Gamliel Rabbanon. Machlokes Rav Gamliel Rabbanon. The Tanya Zeaklal. Kol shu meshiva saminim. If anything is from the 7 species, Rav Gamliel Omer. Now these 7 species we're talking about. Chita so'era v'gefen notein of a rimon, Eretz zeit shemen udvash. Those are 7 meaning. Wheat, barley, not the 5 grains, but like dates, figs, pomegranate, wine. So what bracha do you make after eating the Sheva meaning? So Rabbi Gamliel held you benched. So even after you ate dates or after you ate grapes, you'd have to make a full benching. Chachamim say no, you only say an ala michya. Ma'aser Rabbi Gamliel v'azkenim shayim mesurim b'aliyah b'Yericho. Rabbi Gamliel and the Zakenim were having dinner in Yericho, in an attic. They vilif them koisvois. Koisvois are dates. V'achlu. V'nasr Rabbi Gamliel reshus Rabbi Kiva levarech. Rabbi Gamliel honored Rabbi Kiva with benching afterwards. Now, according to Rabbi Gamliel, you'd have to make a full benching. According to Chachamim, we will make an ala michya. Kafat subak Rabbi Kiva bracha achas mein sholish. Rabbi Kiva jumped up and said an ala michya. Amar le Rabbi Gamliel Akiva. Ad Mosai ata machnis rosh rabbeinu machloikes. You're always getting involved in fights. You know there's a machloikes between me and the Chachamim regarding this, and you're taking the Chachamim side. Amar le Rabbeinu. So Rabbi Kiva responded, Rabbeinu aval pisha ata oimer kein. The chavercha oimer kein. Fine. You say benching. They say ala michya. Limaratena Rabbeinu. You taught us another halacha. Yachid v'rabim halacha karabim. That whenever there's a debate, you count up. It's a democracy. Who's got more numbers? So the rabbim have it. They said ala michya. I'm saying ala michya. Now Rabbi Yehuda Mishmo Kol Shuhu Mishivas Aminim. Any product from the 7 species, v'lo min dogonhu, and it's not a grain. So the only grain there is wheat and barley. Everything else is not a grain. Olive oil, pomegranate, date, fig, honey, right? So those are not grains. Or min dogon, or it's from grain. V'lo asopas, we didn't make it bread. Rabbi Gamliel omer sholosh brachos. The Chacham omer brachas achas. You make a bracha achas mein sholosh. You make an ala michya, and kol she'enu lo meshivas aminim. Let's say it's an apple or an orange. Those are not part of the 7 species that the Torah listed. It's only if you eat a date, a grape, fig. Those are the fruits that you have to make an ala michya on. But a regular fruit that is not one of the Sheva minim, and velomin dogon, and it's not a grain, kigon pas oires v'doich, like rice. Rabbi Gamliel omer is bracha achas mein sholish. The chachamim v'loy klum, which for us means a burn of fashos. Now, the Mayu came to Rabbi Gamliel, so you've set this up like Rabbi Gamliel, ema seifa, the Reisha. Let's look at the seifa of the Reisha. It says, im ena prusas kayomois. We said, if you can't see the pieces where you can identify what grain it is, betchila, we said, mavar chaleh boyer minei mezonos. Ulvasoif mavar chalav bracha achas mein sholish. The mani, Rabbi Gamliel hashta akoisves v'adaisa, if even on dates and on a mixture like porridge, on Rabbi Gamliel gimel brachos, you would bench fully, even in a process kayomas mabai. There's certainly no question according to Rabbi Gamliel. Ela pshita rabbanon. It must be, we're going according to Rabbanon. Yachi kasher rabbanon, so you have a steer in rabbanon. Ela lo'olam rabbanon, v'tani gabi oirez. So the shita is regarding rice, which is why in our halacha we say that there's no bracha after rice, just a bird of fashos. Amarav. Hai riata de chakloi. There was some kind of porridge that the farmers made in the village. The mavshi beikimcha, they put flour in there. Mavarach barim nemizoyos. My time, but the smida ikr, even though they had other things in there, maybe honey, whatever else they put in there, for them the grain was the important one. But in Mechuzah, which was a different town, the lo mavshi beikimcha, in that dish they didn't put flour. Mavar chalav shakol yedvaro. They didn't. There was no barim nemizoyos. My time, a duvshi ikr. The honey was the ikr. V'hodar amarava aida barim nemizoyos. I guess because there was a little bit of grain in there. And Rava says both would require boim nevizoyos. Ravu shmul damar tavayu kol sheyesh bo mechamesh saminim. Like we said, if any product has a little bit of the grain in it, mevarkel of boim nevizoyos. Rav Yosef. Hai chavitza, this dish that was cooked like porridge or something that had grain in it, the ispe prurin kezayas, and it had pieces of bread in it, or pieces of the grain in it, in the size of a kazayas, mevorach olav amoitzi lechem in haaretz. You can't say a boim nemizoynas. You have to say amoitzi lechem in haaretz. Ulvasof avrach olav shalish brachos, and you would bench fully. De lesbe pririn kazayas. If there are smaller pieces than a kazayas in it, betchilim avrach olav boim nemizoynas. Then you would say a boim nemizoynas v'sof brachach smein shalish, because you don't see it as bread anymore. Like, think of it like maybe a piece of French toast, where you can see it's a piece of kazayas, or maybe even bread stuffing, and you see pieces of bread that look like a kazayas. So that might be what it's talking about here.
Croutons?
I don't know if that looks like bread. You want to say, it, and also they're smaller than a kazayas.
Not always.
What was that?
Not
Yeah,
always.
sometimes big pieces of
Big
Croutons can
croutons,
be
yeah.
big, no?
Okay, so that might be another example where this would be enough kamina here. I'm Rav Yosef, no, Amina law at the time. Haya oy medu makrav menachos b'Yerushalayim. So a kohen comes to offer a mincha as a korban, and it's the first time he's ever done it. Oimer baruch shechianu v'kimav gin al zazeh. So first he makes up a shechianu, and now he comes to eat it. Natlan la'achlan mevarich hamotzi lechem in haaretz. The Tani Allah, the Kulan pointed to in kazayas, because they cut it up, but they remain pieces as big as a kazayas. So that's why you make a moitzi. If it would be cut up into smaller pieces, it would be less than a kazayas, then he wouldn't have made a moitzi. Amarli Abayev, based on that, Elamiyat l'tan Reb Yehuda d'Omer, porach not shemachzirin l'soltan, that if you grind it up until it's so like fine flour, hachanami l'boy baruch hamotzi lechem in haaretz, would you say that you don't make a moitzi? And the chitei mochanami, maybe you're going to tell me yes, you don't make a moitzi. Vatanya, lokot mikulan kazayas, after you ground it up until it's powder. You gathered it, so now you're back at least to a size of a kazayas for ochlan. So im chometzu onush kores. If it's on Pesach and it's chometz, you get kores. V'im matzu adam yotze beidei chavas b'Pesach, which means you returned it mamish to bread, even though initially you ground it down really fine. But now that when you're repacking it again into the size of a kazayas, you're back to bread. Is that so? Achmayis kinon bisha arson. You rebaked it. It means it was originally baked. They ground it up into little small pieces, but then he gathered them up to a kazayas and then rebaked it, double baking. Then you make the amotzi. But if you hadn't rebaked it, since you had broken it down into small pieces already, you wouldn't make amotzi. Now, if that's so, yochiem is sefer. Say the sefer. The husha achlan bechdech lilas pas. Now, when are you chayiv kores, or when are you motzi the matzah? You've got to eat it within the period of time that it takes you to eat a half a loaf, which is 9 minutes. Means if you nibbled on it for 2 hours, you got to eat it within bechdech lilas pas in order for it to be called an achila. Now, v'ibisha arson. Now, if you sort of reformed it and baked it again, you wouldn't use the word ha'sha'achlan, which is plural. It's sha'achlo meboile. You're eating it because you put it back together again. It's not little multiple pieces anymore. It's one piece. So it can't be the way you're explaining that you put it back into one piece, because the language of achlon was used and not achlo. No, because in that case it came from a big challah. And there's a special din. If it starts off from a big challah, then even then, whatever you do with it, you're going to require a moitzi. Now, after this whole discussion, my havi Allah, what's the final law? Amrav Sheshes. Hai chavitza. If you make a porridge dish, af agav de lesbe pruin kazayas. Well, chavitza maybe is like more like a kugel, or maybe like a stuffing, right? It's some kind of, they made a dish from bread. So even though there are no pruin kazayas left, mavar chalav amois lechem haaretz. Omer Rava, v'hu de'ika alei turita denama. I guess it has an appearance of bread. It maris lechem. If it doesn't look like bread anymore, then you don't make a motzi lechem haaretz. You would make a mezainis. Truknin, we don't know what that is yet. Chayovin bechalo. You have to give challah. It seems like it's bread. Also, Rav Yochanan, truknin p'tur min challah. So there's a machlokes. Is truknin? Is there chiyuv challah or not chiyuv challah? Now my truknin. what's instructed. Amr Abaya, kuva de'ara. Rashi, oisa mokum chalal bekira. You make a space in an oven. V'noisen b'soichoy mayim v'kemach. It sounds like a waffle or a pancake. Rashi, oisa mokum chalal bekira. You make a space within the burner, and you put in there mayim v'kemach, water with flour.
Yeah.
Kemoish oisin b'alfas. It sounds like some kind of pancake or like a waffle. V'amar Abaya, trisa p'tura min achala. Now, my trisa, what's that? Ikede amri, gvil mirtach, Rashi, noisen kemach umayim b'kli. This isn't put in the oven. This is put into a kli, water and flour. Uvoichshin b'kaf. Yes, you mix it in a spoon. V'shoychin ala kira kashiniskas. And you pour it, that almost like sounds like you're pouring it on a griddle, like you're making a pancake. The ikidami nahama da handika. Other people say it's handikin bread.
Indian bread.
But say sho'oifin b'shpud.
Naan.
You take dough and you put it on a spit. Umoishkin oisam tamid b'shem, and you put oil on it all the time, or eggs. The ikidami, other people lechem asui lekutach. A bread, kutach was like a mayonnaise, was a dip.
It's made of sour milk, moldy bread crust, and
That's the
salt.
kutach. Now, here it says, in oifnoisoi betaner el b'chama. This was baked in the sun, not in an oven. So, Tani Rav Chia lechem asui lekutach potter min achala. This type of bread baked in the sun would be potter min achala. Ay v'hatanya chayiv b'chala. There's a price that says you're chayiv b'chala. Hosam k'netani timer. You know, Omer, ma'aseh mochichen alen. How you prepare it will prove to us what type of bracha you make. And the Gemara is going to go into detail how we prepare these things. Okay.